Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make another Minecraft skin statue. This time it's going to be the Hulk out of the Avengers, and the statue is based on the Hulk skin out of the Marvel Avengers skin pack, which was released on the Xbox 360. I had planned on making my own Avengers statues, but Minecraft beat me to it. What can you do? And in regards to the statue, I'm aware that it's not the best statue that I've made, but bear in mind that for the Hulk, he is just green, and you do only have the two choices of green in Minecraft. You've got the dark green and the lime green wool, and as for the shorts, you've only got one source of purple. So I'm aware that this statue may be a little lackluster, but it's the best that I could possibly do and still adhere to the actual skin, so I apologise if it's not up for standards, but in any case, sorry for yabbering on. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need black wool, light grey, white, purple, and finally, as you might imagine with building the Hulk, you're going to be needing both shades of green. And they're the only colours that you're going to be needing. He really doesn't use too many whatsoever. So once you've got your colours and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right here. You're going to want to start out with this little sequence of colours in a row on the floor. You're going to want to do one dark green, one lime green, one dark, two light, one dark, one light, and finally one dark. Give you something which should look like that, and that is going to be the base of our Hulk, so make sure you've got that right. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be kicking up the speed a little bit. So for the second row, you're going to want to do two dark green in the two center spots of the row, a single dark green on the ends of the row, and then lime green everywhere else. Next row, you're going to want to do a single lime green on the ends of the row, one dark green on each end coming in towards the center next to the lime, and then lime green everywhere else. Next row wants to be a copy of the previous, so just copy what you have for the previous row. Lime green everywhere but the second block coming in towards the center. Next row, you're going to want to do a single dark green on the ends of the row, single purple coming in towards the center next to the dark green, and then lime green everywhere else. Next row, you're going to want to do two dark green in the two center spots of the row, single dark green on the ends of the row, and then finally purple wool everywhere else. Let me just show you what you're going to want to have so far. The reason that I'm showing you this is because the next 6 rows are extremely simple, and then we'll be finished with the legs. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you're just going to want to do 6 solid rows of purple wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I always like to mark them out, but you guys can use whatever method you decide to do the 6 rows of purple. I like to mark them out because I've convinced myself thoroughly that it leads to less mistakes, even though I know it doesn't. I'm just mistake prone, but there you go. Whatever works. So those are the Hulk's legs. Pause that if necessary. That's all you want to have for them. Once you've done that, once you've made sure that you've done that right, we can move our way up to the torso. So climbing up Mount Hulk. For the first row of the torso, here's what you want to have. You just want to do a single dark green on the ends of the row, and then lime green all the way in between. And that's the first row. Next row, you're going to want to do two dark green in the two center spots of the row, a single dark green on the ends, and then lime wool everywhere else. Next row, you're going to want to do 4 green wool in the 4 center spots, a single dark green on each end, and then lime wool everywhere else. Next row, 2 dark green in the center, single dark green on the ends, then lime everywhere else. Next row is just a copy of the previous, so just do what you have for the previous to give you that. Next row, single lime on the ends, dark green everywhere else. And that is halfway up Mount Hulk. So make sure you've done that right. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be continuing on. So for the last 6 rows, next row, you're just going to want to do an entire row of lime wool. Next row, after that, you're going to want to do an entire row of dark green. Next row, after that, you're going to want to do 2 dark green in the center spots, a single dark green on each end, and then lime wool everywhere else. For the next 3 rows after that, you just want to do 3 solid rows of lime wool. So 1, 2, 3, and fill them in. And once you've done that, you're going to want to have something which should look a little bit like that. And wow, that looks a little weird. Kind of reminds me of something. I have no idea what it is. I'm sure it will come to me. But that's what you want to have. That is Hulk's entire torso. Pause that if necessary. Let me show you what you want to have so far all together. I always like to look at the legs and the torso together. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just weird. But it wants to look a little something like that. Pause that if necessary. And once you've done that, we can get to work on the arms. So, to start things off, we're going to do the arms on either side. So the arms stem from the first row of the torso, so right here, just above the purple. And here's what you want to do. You just want to extend this row out by 4 either side of the torso with your lime green wool, just to give you the start of the arms. I always like to do the first row of both arms at the same time. Don't know why, just a habit. So once you've done that, we're going to be working on the arm on the right side first. So, working on this one. And I like to build the arms from outwards to in. So if I just call out a series of colours, I mean from like this block coming in towards the centre. So for the next row, you're just going to want to do 2 dark green, 1 lime wool, 1 dark green. Next row on top of that. And as a matter of fact, for the next 5 rows, you just want to do 5 solid rows of lime green wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then fill them in. Give you that. Next row, 1 dark green, 3 lime wool. Next row, 1 lime, 1 dark, 2 lime. And then for the next 3 rows after that, you just want to do 3 rows of solid lime green wool just to take you up to the top of the torso and form the shoulder. As you can see, the arm is extremely simple. It's not going to be that plain forever. Once we get to the end of the tutorial, once we've got like the whole side of the arm and the back of the statue made, we're going to be improving the hands a little bit. He's got big, massive clubs for hands that we're going to be making later, so don't worry, it's not going to look that terrible forever. But that's what you want for the arm so far, and in its entirety as a matter of fact. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can move on to the other arm, and I'm going to be doing this slightly faster since you already have the other arm to copy off if you get stuck. So next row on top of the base layer of the arm, you're just going to want to do 2 dark green, 1 lime, 1 dark green. The next 5 rows of 5 solid rows of lime, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fill those in. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then, for the next row, 1 dark, 3 lime. Next row after that, 1 lime, 1 dark, 2 lime. And then finally, 3 lime wool rows to take you up to the top of the torso and form the shoulder. So that is what you want to have for both of the arms. As I said, they'll look a little better once we get to the end of the statue. So pause that if necessary. That's what you want for the torso and the arms. Let me show you what you want to have so far. There we go. Once you've reached this point right here, we have done the entire front of the statue, minus the head of course, and the little alterations to the hands that I said that we're going to be making. So once you are at this point, pause that if necessary of course, if you need to catch up, if you need to make sure that you've done that right. Once you have reached this point, we can get to work on the back of the statue. So what you're going to want to do is come down to the feet, take a little bit of a sideways on view like this, and with your lime wool, here's what you want to do, and I always find this difficult to explain. You're going to want to extend the back of your statue out by 3 rows of lime green wool from the edge of the feet. So you want to do this. That sounds complicated, but in reality, here's what you want to do. Couldn't be easier. That's what you want to have. Then, with the 2 rows of lime green wool that you've made, you just want to connect them together, back block to back block, to give you something which should look like that. And here's what we're going to do now. We're going to build up the back of the statue just like we've built up the front of the statue. So what you want to do is you just want to focus on these back 8 blocks right here. You want to ignore these 2 blocks that we have on the left and the right hand side of the statue. We're only going to be needing these 8 until I say otherwise. So what you want to do for the next row of the back of the legs, which is just on top of these 8 right here, you're going to want to do this. And this is probably a left to right sort of colour sequence. You're going to want to do this. You want to do 1 dark green, 1 lime green, 1 dark green, 2 lime green, 1 dark green, 1 lime green, 1 dark green. To give you that. What you then want to do, for the next row, you want to do 4 dark green in the 4 center spots of the row. You then want to do a single dark green on the ends of the row, then lime green everywhere else. And I know it's getting a little dark, but there's a certain point that I want to get to. So once you've done that, the next row wants to be a duplicate. I've got to stop using that word. I always feel as though I mispronounce it. So you just want a copy of the previous row. So just copy what you have for the previous row. Next row, you just want to do 2 dark green in the 2 center spots of the row and lime green everywhere else. Then, for the next row, and this is going to be the last row that I do before I cut out for night, you just want to do 2 dark green in the 2 center spots of the row and then purple wool everywhere else. To give you something which should look like that. And I'm going to show you this again once we've got light, and then we'll continue on up the legs. Back in a sec. So that's what you want to have for the back of the legs so far. The reason that I wanted to reach this point was because the next 6 rows of the back of the legs are extremely easy. So pause that if necessary, make sure you've done that right. Once you've done that, we can finish off the back of Hulk's legs. And this might seem a little familiar to you. So what you want to do for the next 6 rows is just 6 solid rows of purple wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark them out and fill them in. Or however you want to do it, of course. Whatever. I used to be an advocate of just building up the rows like left to right, but I always tended to miscount them and end up leaving a row off or adding too many or whatever. Throwing glowstone in there by accident, you don't know what could happen. So that's what you want to have for the back of the legs. Very simple. Once you've thrown your 6 rows of purple on there, legs are completely finished. Pause that if necessary. Make sure you've got that right. And once you've done that, we can work our way up to the back. So for the first row of the back, here's what you want to do. You want to do 4 dark green in the 4 center spots of the row, and then lime wool everywhere else. Next row, 2 dark green in the center, lime wool everywhere else. Next row, you're going to want to do 1 dark green on the left center spot, so right there, and then lime wool everywhere else. Then, the next 3 rows want to be copies of the row that you've just done, so 1, 2, 3, and then just raise it up. Oops. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that, and that is just about halfway up the back, if not halfway. I'm not very good at maths. Pause there if necessary. Once you've done that, next row, we're just going to be building this from left to right just for easiness sake. So here's what you want to do. You want to do 2 dark green, 1 lime green, 1 dark green, 2 lime green, and then 2 dark green. Next row after that wants to be entirely dark green. Next row, after that, you want to place a single dark green on the ends of the row, raise up that left center block again, and then place lime wool everywhere else. Next row, raise up that left center block again, lime wool everywhere else. Next row wants to be a copy of the previous, so just copy what you have, raise up that left center block, lime wool everywhere else. And finally, to finish off the back, you just want an entire row of lime green wool to give you something which should look a little bit like that. It kind of looks like a really wonky cross or some sort of weird looking candlestick. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but that's what you want to have. Pause that if necessary. Let me show you the back of the legs and the back together. I always like to do this. I like to do the same on the front. I don't know why. Alright, so that's everything you want for the back of the statue so far. Pause that if necessary. Once you've reached this point, we can work our way onto the back of the arms. So, first things first, we just want to do the first row of both of the back of the arms, and they're in the same position as they are on the front, and they are the same as they are on the front. So you just want to do the row of 4 lime green wool coming from the first row of the back, sticking straight out either side like that. And unfortunately, that's where the similarities end with the arms, because we've got to build up the back of the arms individual to how we did the front there. They're not symmetrical, guys. It's a bad day. So we're going to be starting on the left-hand side first, and as I did with the front of the arms, if I'm just calling out colours, outwards to in. So for the second row of the arms, directly on top of our row of 4 lime green wool, here's what you want to do. You want to do 2 dark green, 2 lime green. Next 2 rows are entirely lime green, and I did say 2, so 1, 2 rows of lime green wool. Next row, 3 dark green, 1 lime green. Next row, 3 lime, 1 dark. Next row, just a copy of the one that you've just done, 3 lime, 1 dark. Next row, you want to do 2 dark, 1 light, 1 dark. Next row, 1 lime, 3 dark. Next row, 3... God damn, come on, get closer. Next row is 3 lime, 1 dark, and then finally, the 2 final rows are just copies of the row that you've just done, so 3 lime and 1 dark. And I feel as though I may have done that a lot fast, but as you can see, it is only 4 blocks, 11 rows. You guys should be able to manage that no problem. As I said, sorry if I went a little fast, but you should be able to see from this view what I've done, even if you couldn't follow along. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be moving on the other arm, and this arm is just a copy of that arm. So if you had trouble with, as a matter of fact, if you had trouble with that arm, you're going to have trouble with this arm. But if you didn't have trouble with that arm, this arm is going to be a breeze. So for this arm, exactly as we did on the other side, except just inverse, you're going to want to do 2 dark green, 2 lime on top of the original base row. Next 2 rows are 2 solid rows of 2 lime wool. Next row, 3 dark, 1 light. Next row, 3 light, 1 dark. Next row is just a copy of that, so 3 light, 1 dark. Next row, 2 dark green, 1 light, 1 dark. Next row, 1 lime, 3 dark. Next row, 3 lime, 1 dark, and finally the last 2 rows are just copies of the row that you've just done, which is 3 lime wool and 1 dark green, to give you something which should look a little bit like that. Very easy. Let me get the whole view of the back before I say this. So that is what you want for the back of both arms. As you can see, they're just mirror images of each other, so if you manage one arm, the other arm should come quite easily. So pause that if necessary. Let me show you what you want for the whole back of the statue, because, ladies and gentlemen, once you've done that, and again, pause that if necessary if you need to catch up, etc. Once you've done that, we can move our way onto the side of the statue. So, you're going to want to come over to this side of the statue, or the other side, doesn't really matter there. Again, these are mirror images of each other as well, so you do the one side, the other side's very easy. Here's how I like to do the side of the statue. I like to work in the left column, going straight up, then the right column, going straight up. And it's very easy, as we only have these 2 columns. So, left column first, going directly up. Here's what you want to do. You want to do 5 lime green, going straight up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the rest of the leg just wants to be entirely purple wool. Pause that if necessary. Time for the right column. Right column's very similar but different. You're going to want to do 4 lime green wool, so just 1 short of the row on the left, and then the rest of the leg is entirely purple wool. Very easy. Alright, so once you've done that, pause that if necessary, of course, we can work our way up to the side of the arms. So first things first, with the side of the arms, you're just going to want to fill in the under part of the hand in with lime green wool, and this serves 2 purposes. Number 1, it makes our Hulk airtight. Number 2, once you've done that, it will form the first row of the side of the arms. So again, with the side of the arms, I like to do the left column and then the right column going straight up. So for the left column, what you want to do is 4 lime green wool going straight up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to do 3 dark green, 1, 2, 3, and then the rest of the row can just be entirely lime green wool, like so. Next row, you're going to want to do 6 lime green going straight up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1 dark green, and then finally finish off the rest of the arm in with lime green wool to give you something which should look like that. Kind of looks like a T. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, as a matter of fact, we've just forgot the shoulder. So once you've done that, you're just going to want to come up to the top of the shoulder, and all you want to do is just fill in the top of the shoulder in with lime green wool. You only have to come in by 3 rows, like so, because the head will cover the rest. So just do that, don't need to linger on that too long. So let me just show you this entire side of the statue now that it's complete. Very easy, not too much to it whatsoever. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you can work your way onto the other side of the statue. and this side is going to be a hell of a lot easier than that side. Not that that side wasn't easy. Here's why. As you can see, just use your eyes to look straight forward. What do we have? We have plans, gentlemen. All you have to do is copy that side of the statue onto this side. You don't even need any instructions. You just need to use your eyes to look straight forward and copy what you already have. I believe in you. You can do it. So that works for both the legs, which we've just done, as you can see. Direct copy of the other side. And for the arms, which I kind of preemptively did a little bit. So just do the arms exactly how I just did the legs. Just copy what you have on the other side of the statue and you will be golden. I'm not looking at my plans whatsoever. I just had a look straight through the hook, saw what I did there, and there we go. As you can see, exactly what I have. Whoops. Get a little crazy with the right analog stick. As you can see, it's exactly what I have on the other side. If you have any trouble whatsoever doing that, I'm not sure why you would. All you have to do is go over and look at the other side of the statue to make sure you've got that right, to check if you need to. But once you're at this point right here, sorry that I cut that abruptly, I had to go and investigate. It sounded like somebody was tearing cardboard outside of my door, which is strange, considering the fact that I'm the only one home. Turned out to be nothing, it was probably the cats. So, continuing on, where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. So once you've done the entire front, the entire back, and the entire side of the statue, it's time for us to do the head. So you're going to want to come to the front of the statue, you're going to want to come to the top of the torso, and you're going to want to do a row of 8 lime green wool directly on top of the top row of the torso, so exactly like that. Then you're going to want to do 2 more rows of lime green in front of the row that you've just made, so just directly in front of it, 1 and 2, like so. And that should mean that you have 2 overhanging rows of lime green just overhanging the front of the torso, like so. And this most outward row, this row right here, is going to be the first row of Hulk's face. So we're going to be building up on top of this. For the meantime, we'll do the entire face, then the sides of the head, then the back, and we'll finish this up. Oh, and we also have to do the arms as well, but most importantly, the face. So for the next row, and this is going to be a left to right row, on top of this row right here is what you want to do. And again, going left to right, you're just going to want to do 1 lime green, 1 dark green, 1 light grey, 1 white, 1 light grey, 1 white, 1 dark green, 1 lime green. Next row, you're going to want to do 2 lime green in the 2 centre spots of the row, a single dark green either side of those 2 centre spots, and then lime green wool everywhere else. Next row, this is kind of a left to right row as well, so you're just going to want to do this. 1 dark green, 1 purple, 1 black, 2 lime green, 1 black, 1 white, 1 dark green. Next row, you're going to want to do 2 dark green in the 2 centre spots of the row. You're then going to want to do 2 black going outwards towards the end of the row, next to the dark green, and then finally a single lime green on the ends of the row just to finish it all off. Next row wants to be entirely lime green, like so. Next row, again, it's going to have to be kind of a left to right row, so you know what? Black and the greens need to join together because I'm not scrolling through every single time. So next row, after the entire row of lime green, you're going to want to do 1 black, 1 lime, 1 black, 2 lime, 2 black, 1 lime. And finally, to finish off Hulk's face, you're just going to want to do an entire row of black wool to finish off Hulk's face. That's the 8th and final row. And once you've done that, you should have something which looks a little bit like that. Doesn't he look happy? That is Hulk's face in its entirety. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the rest of Hulk's head. So first of all, you're going to want to come around to the back of Hulk's head, and then from this original row of 8 that started off the head, you're going to want to extend this back with your lime green wool until it overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows, very similar to what we did at the front of the statue. So just keep building it back until it overhangs by 2. Let me give you a bit of a sideways view. Make sure that it does overhang by 2. Yep, that's what you're going to want to have. Pause that if you need to catch up. Once you've done that, first of all, we've got to make a little amendment to the to the back row. So this is going to be the first row of the back of Hulk's head, and I just said it was entirely lime green for my own convenience. So first of all, just to fix it, you're going to want to knock out the 4 middle blocks and replace them with black. So that is Hulk's actual first row of the back of his head. 4 black in the middle, 2 lime green either side. Next thing, we're not going to be building up the back of the head just yet. We're going to be building up the side. So come to this side right here. And we're going to be building up the side of the head, going from left to right, so from back to front, like so. And I'm just going to be calling out the colours as I do. So for the second row of the back of the head, you're going to want to do 1 black, and then the rest of the row wants to be lime wool. Next row, 3 black wool, rest lime green. Next row, 3 black, 2 lime, 1 black, 1 lime. Next row, 6 black wool, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1 lime wool to finish it off, and that is definitely 6 by the way, even though I messed up a little bit. Next row just wants to be entirely black wool, and so do the final 2 rows of the side of the head. So you're going to want to have something which looks a little bit like that, and I feel as though I may have done that ever so slightly quickly, but from the side of the head you should be able to figure that out quite easily if you did have trouble with the instructions. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you're going to want to go onto the other side of the head and do the exact same thing. So you can either listen to the instructions or you can just copy what you have on that side. So for the second row, and I'm going to be doing this slightly faster, as you do have that side to literally just look straight forward and copy off. 1 black, rest of the row is lime, that's the second row of course. Next row, 3 black, rest lime. Next row, 3 black, 2 lime, 1 black, 1 lime. Next row, 6 black, 1 lime. Next 3 rows, is it 3? I'm bad at maths, yes it is, entirely black wool to give you something which should look a little something like that. And as you can see, exact same as the other side, so if you have any trouble, just copy what you have on the other side. So pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you have pretty much done the head, and here's why. The rest of the head is just entirely black wool, so these 2 little sections that we have here, the back and the top of the head, all you have to do is just fill them in entirely with black wool, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So however you want to accomplish that, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you do fill the rest of the head in entirely with black wool. And by the way, you could also make the hair dark grey if you wanted to. I prefer black myself, I tried both, but you know, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. In my eyes, Hulk has black hair, but dark grey, if you like, it's up to you. It depends how close you want to get to the skin. As you can see, some of it's blackish, some of it's dark grey. I tried the hybrid black and dark grey, but I don't like it. I think black suits it much better, so that's what you want to have for the head. As you can see, mainly just black. Once you've done the sides and the face, that's the hardest part. So just to finish this all off, so once you've done the head, we've just got one more thing to do, and that is to alter Hulk's hands. We've got to give him his Clobberin fists. So this is kind of going to be hard to explain, so I'm just going to do it and show you what I've done. So on the front of the statue, you just want to add these 4 blocks onto each of the arms, and I'll do both of them at the same time and then show you. It's really not too difficult. So you want to add those blocks right there onto the hands, onto the second and third row. As you can see, just a 2x2 square. You should have no problem with that whatsoever. And my theory is that those are his thumbs as he's making a fist holding it to the side. They shouldn't really be sticking out. They should be kind of tucked in front of his fingers. But the Hulk holds his fists how the Hulk wants to hold his fists. I'm not going to argue with him. So that's what you want to do for the front of the arms right there. Then for the side, you just want to do this. On the first row, you just want to add a dark green block, second block to the back, and then you just want to do 3 rows of lime green wool, like so, onto the side of the hand. So you just want to have that, and you want to do the same thing on the other side. If you want to pause that, go ahead, and just to go and do the same thing on the other side as well. Second block to the black for the first row, and then throw 2 more rows of lime green, equaling 3 rows of lime green. Again, pause that if necessary, and you don't have to do anything to the back of the hands. They are perfect as they are. So just to give you a bit of a front view, I mean, it doesn't add that much to it, but I was zooming out a little too far. It doesn't add that much to it, but you know, it just makes it a bit more Hulk-like. He's got his big giant clobbering fists. He's ready to smash. So that's what you want to have. Pause that if necessary, if you need to catch up. And once you have reached this point right here, well done, because you have yourself your very own Hulk statue. I'm just going to give you a nice 360-degree view, because that is what I do. Talk about the statue a little bit. So, well done, first of all, for managing to make the Hulk. He's not the most difficult out of the Avengers. Unfortunately, I think Iron Man is. He's also not my favourite out of the skin pack. It's, you know, it's a good skin, but it doesn't make that good of a statue because we only have two sources of green and only one real source of purple. I mean, for the shorts, there's no detail in there because there isn't too much detail in the actual skin, but you'd have to use dark blue in any case to add any additional detail to the shorts, so it wouldn't look very good. Also, I think the midsection's kind of not very well thought out. The midsection is actually altered a little bit from the skin. I made it a lot more rounded as opposed to square. The back also, you know, it looks a little weird. It's yeah, so I mean, it's a cool skin. Not my favourite statue. It is a good statue. I like it, but it's just not my favourite. So, next after the Hulk, I'm probably going to be showing you how to make Captain America, and then finally Iron Man. Iron Man is going to be a real pain. So, just to sum it up, well done for making the statue. Not my favourite, still a cool statue. Thanks for watching, I hope it was easy enough to follow, and see you in the next tutorial. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel. I have tutorials ranging from YouTube statues, skin statues, houses, pixel art, the list goes on. Thanks for watching.